Make sure that I'm loud and clear and live all over the place. Kia ora, kia ora, kia ora. Yep, it looks like I am. Loud and yes, I'm loud and clear. Okay, I'm going to dive into things. Right, put that on chat so I can see if you guys leave comments everywhere. All right. Geez, where do we start? Where actually do we start? All right. So for a lot of you, you'll notice that I am. So my name was slightly changed on socials. Jade Varapana Binioni. So Varapana is my middle name, which I am wanting to be, or I prefer to be called by. I don't mind Jade. A lot of people still call me Jade. A lot of people just call me Sis. But Varapana is really just my preference. So I've added that in there in my name. Since getting my moko kauai, it just makes sense to me to really honor my Cook Island side, my Aitutakian side, and so I've it's just been a calling. So that's the name piece. I mean, that's a good thread to start with. What else? I feel like last year I took a whole year off. So 2019, what is even the year? 2020, I was running the rebuild, and that ended in May 2021. And then after that, I knew that I was going to have a break. Like I knew that I was going to take time out because that holding that space for, the wahine that were in that program. Well, it's more than a program, that were in that space with me. It was hectic. It was beautiful. It was hectic though. It was a lot of mahi. It was a lot of work to hold that space. So I guess let's see what this does. She'll probably stop playing around with all the graphics on this program that I'm using to help me kind of go live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and also Facebook. So I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I took time off last year just to reground and just to come back to me. Like so much change has happened, so much stuff has happened, and I just felt like I hadn't taken that time to really just be with myself and not work on myself, because I'm always like working on myself, but just to be. So I did that around about May last year. I swore I was only taking 3 months off. Like I was like, I'm going to take 3 months off and just, really ask myself what I want. 3 months turned into like right now. And I guess something I reflected on, like on that journey, was that the hardest part was like accepting that I am just like taking this time. That was the hardest part. Like I think it was May, June, July. I started feeling this pressure to like have to get back out there. Hey KB. Then I would try and launch something right in July, and it just wouldn't take off because my soul, my wairua was like, you need this rest. Like you've been doing this work for like a good 6 years. Like what is 5 to 6 months? No, my mind was like, no, we've got to keep going. So like July, I would try and launch something. And then when that didn't work, it'd be like, and so like August, I'd be like, it's all good. We're resting, but are we really resting? No, we're not. So I'm like trying to do stuff. So it was like this wave of like up and down of like trying to do stuff / like listening and just resting, trying to do stuff and listening and resting, right? And I kind of got to, so just after I received my moko kauai, and I really like everything changed. A lot changed. I was like, yo, this whole time I'm supposed to be like just resting and taking out this time and going through this transition that's like, no biggie. Um, and I really started like grieving around the fact that, holy shit, I didn't even know, I didn't even realize that I was like forcing when I'm supposed to be resting, kind of thing. So, anyway, it became really simple where I was like, I just took half a year off, and that's okay. I took half a year off of holding space for people and doing this coaching work, and that's okay. And I was like, oh, was it really that simple? Yeah, it is. It's okay. Like, you're all right. um, yeah, like, and this is stuff I'm going to talk about as well. But like, so much of us can be caught up in like our identity we build around like what we do and yeah, what we're capable of. Like, there's so much of our identity. So when we let that go or we stop doing the stuff, then it's like we don't know who the hell we are, and it gets really difficult. So riding those waves was interesting for me at the end of last year. So the where I've ended up is that, and I may add, if I may add, I became a little like complacent around just the the lifestyle that I get to live with, holding space for other women and men in the past. Like, I became a bit complacent around the work that I do as a coach. You know, getting caught up in like, am I a coach or am I a mentor? Like, what do I call myself? Boo hoo! Like, that's not the point. Um, just getting really like complacent and slightly ungrateful is not the word, but it's sort of that vibe. Like, ungrateful around just the lifestyle and the I started losing. Um, not I started, but I sort of lost the passion because I was always like striving, basically because I wasn't resting, right? Because I wasn't resting and I was always trying to like get back up on the horse. It was draining me of my passion for the work that I was actually out there doing in the world that I'd worked, you know, over 6 years to build up to this place where, women come into my space and ask me to help guide them through their inner world. And I had lost that. Um, yeah, I just kind of became complacent around that as well. And that made me really sad in December. So December, I grieved a lot when, like, December was like, November, December was like a lot of just like, whoa, awareness and grieving and just whoa. And I found this kind of newfound passion. Mother's going to walk through the door any second. Um, newfound passion, newfound, no, he's not because it's locked. Sorry, darling. Um, for coaching and like actually spending the time in December looking back on just like the lives, like taking me out of it, taking my identity out of it, taking my break out of it, taking um, the results, taking the non-results, taking all of that stuff out of it, and just reflecting back on the lives of the women that I have had the honor of standing beside and watching and help guide. Just looking at that fact and reminiscing, reflecting back on the journey that it was to stand beside these women and just like seeing their transition um, was like, what am I, really brought me to my knees, if you like. And I was like, this work, call it what you want to call it, coaching, mentoring, healing, who gives a shit, what it's called, that work, that watching these wahine, watching these women, go from A to B is like everything. And I started getting really fucking emotional actually. And I was like, I want nothing more than to do this mahi, than to do this work. And this is why I'm here. Along with a little, um, along with a little uh, guidance of my own, given to me, which is that 2023 is about simplicity. Kia ora, Ash. It's about simplicity. When I take my gene keys, my human design, that it's written all over the wall. But your girl loves to go deep, down some rabbit holes. I'm a projector. I can go down rabbit holes. I can go deep. Um, and so is quite challenging for me to just like stay simple, but that's what is required. So I just wanted to give you that kind of like backdate, update, and I'm glad I only have to say this once and it goes out to like everywhere, because one of my pet peeves last year was like repurposing or like doing a video here and then having to do it on Instagram and having to do it on Facebook and then thinking about doing it on LinkedIn. Whereas now I can just like click, bang, and I'm live everywhere, which is what I prefer, because, you know, everything that I do, I just kind of channel out quickly and then that's it. I don't want to have to like recreate it or even put on a show with a video, you know, and edit it and all that shit. It takes away the magic of it. So, yeah, simplicity is really the vibe for me this year. Um, I do have a simple little message that I want to put out there, and really it's the knuckle, and knuckle means like the core of who I'm speaking to. There's going to be lots that I speak about. 5 minute. There's going to be lots that I speak about, but it's really this. Um, but I'm live like on YouTube, Facebook, so you can come in or not. Um, Something that I really want to express and what I've been thinking about, and it's this. Because I'm getting a hurry up over here. Um, there's going to be lots that I'm talking about, lots of um, subjects, models, you know, things that are going to help you strengthen your communication or whatever it is that we do here. But the first message that I wanted to bring is this. There are so many of our people out there that have innate, meaning natural, innate gifts, innate wisdom, innate ability. And okay, all right. Too many people are sleeping on those gifts, on those abilities, on that wisdom. And I wanted to say this. I want to put this out there first because, you know, I look around and there's just not a lot of, when I say our people, I mean I'm indigenous, I'm Kokala Maori, you know, like I'm Polynesian, I'm Maori. And when I was on the come up, there wasn't a lot of people that looked like me out there kind of saying, hey, you know, I'll guide you, I'm a couple of steps ahead. You know, these people didn't really exist, you know. Wahine that looked like me weren't really out there online saying, you know, I'll help you put your message out, or, you know, I'll help you build this business, when I was starting out 6 years ago. So I'm really here because I want to see more people out there. And even just last year, beginning of last year, there were so many of our wahine like out there trying things, putting themselves out there, and I kind of just feel like everyone's just gone away, you know. And I want to say this, it's not you, and you'll know what this means if you're one of these people. It's not really you that was the issue. It was most likely your the ability to communicate what communicate your wisdom, communicate your message, communicate the thing you wanted to communicate, right? It was a lack of understanding of how that, or the importance of doing that well. And I feel like a lot of our people, you know, they have these innate gifts, innate wisdoms, and the innate abilities, and, you know, they stand up and it's kind of like a flash in the pan, you know. It's like stand up and give it a go, and then when it doesn't work after a couple of times, you know, they give up. Now, if I'm anybody, I am that auntie, but I am that girl, I'm that auntie, I'm that wahine who will, you know, I don't give a shit if I don't do things and win the first time, the second time, the eighth time, but I'm still here. Like my business, Unearth Your Worth, you made it through COVID, right? I do what I need to do to keep on keeping on, because this journey about sharing my message and, empowering people, you know, whatever the hell I do, talk shit, spread, knowledge, it's a non-negotiable for me. Like, it will never be over, right? So I have to find a way to keep on keeping on. And sometimes that means resting and I don't listen, and that's okay. So if there's anything that I kind of want to be the embodiment of for us, is that, sure, you might get knocked down, but you get back up again. And so this simple message here is for those of you who have watched this and have been out there, can feel in your bones that you have something to share with the world: message, wisdom, teaching, knowledge, an innate gift, whatever it is, and you want to share it with people because you know it will help, you know it will make an impact, you know it will create change, and you haven't been sharing it, this message is for you. Where are you? And if you're gone, if you've kind of gone, oh no, I'm just going to do something else, I'm going to park that, I want you to hear today that it's not you. There is a way in which people take on a message, in which people take on, accept a message that's been given to them. And I know how easy it is to just, the louder we yell, hopefully someone will hear. And yeah, that kind of works. But generally, if we want something to get across, there's a way in which we want to do that, so that it's effective and people can hear it. I'm the queen of let's just yell and hope that people will click on, right? It's not so effective. It gets through to some, but it's not effective. And so I'm here to really support, Indigenous men and women who have a message, who have wisdom, who have knowledge they want to pass on, knowledge they want to put out there, and really want to stand up and, do the work that they love, even if even if it looks like no one's looking, but trust me, people are. And helping them be consistent, helping them share that message with confidence, helping them, bring clarity and consistency to what they do. That's really the mission here. And in order to do that, we're going to talk about communication. And external communication with other people is really just a reflection of the internal communication that we have going on inside, between the parts of us that make us who we are. It's the dynamic, it's the relationship that we have inside of us that is mirroring out. So last year, when I wasn't listening to myself and I wasn't resting and I wasn't taking that time out when that's what my body needed, when I would externally go to message something or voice something and it wasn't landing, that's a reflection of what's happening inside of me. So I'm here to teach people, our men and women, how to really clean up that relationship inside of them, so that what they're communicating out into their communities, to their people, is received, is heard. And it's a lot simpler than we think. It's a lot simpler than we think. So round it off and bring it home, it's, where are we? Where are you? If you have something in here burning to come out, to teach, to share, to impart with another, let's go. It's time. It's time for that. It's time for that, and it's time to normalize why sometimes things don't get across. It's time for just accepting that, we're here and we're here with something special. It's time for normalizing why things don't always get across. And it's time for getting back up on the horse and doing the thing, right? So that's for today. I'm gonna leave it there because I'm on a 30-day challenge with Maru and we've got to go walking. So I better wrap it up here. Thanks to those of you for tuning in, and we'll catch you soon. I don't know how to stop this thing. That's the other thing.